Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee update. Well, I bet that might be what you're interested in. Well, follow me. Let's go over here and do an old-fashioned knee update. So, as you can see here, I have since been to the knee doctor, and they took off the initial bandage and kind of did like an initial inspection. So now you can see my sick scar. A couple of interesting things about that. So if you get in kind of close, so there's actually no stitches or anything in here. It's all surgical glue, which is kind of fascinating. And so that should, like right now, if you were to touch it, you can kind of feel a little bit of like glue substance on there, which should hopefully dissolve over the course of the next like couple of weeks. When I say hopefully, I mean, it will dissolve. But so that's kind of cool. They gave me these things, which I'm shocked didn't fall out while I was sleeping, but should only stay on for a couple of days, and then it'll be good as new. I still can't submerge it in water, which was kind of tragic because I was really hoping to take like a full bath with all of the icing of the knee. By the end of the day, it really starts to get into a bone chill. So taking a warm bath after that is, would be very appealing, even though I'm not traditionally a bath kind of person. But that's nice. While they were doing that, they were, happy with the way that the incision looked, happy with the way that the swelling looked, and how much bend that I could get in my knee and straightness at this point. So all of that was positive news. Seems like it's moving in the right direction. And then on the nerve damage thing, he did kind of an interesting thing. The presumption is that when I damaged it, it was because of pressure on the outside of my knee, and that's something which kind of has happened a lot traditionally in the past, but not more recently with some of the practices that they do. But what he did to kind of test it was like tap down my leg and basically asked when it started to feel weird. And so like here all feels normal, and then you get down to like here, and suddenly it starts to feel almost like somebody's taking like sandpaper or something like that and kind of scratching against my leg. But what that means is that theoretically it's healed or improved up to this point, and it heals going down. So theoretically it's already a pretty good way down to being healed on my foot. Although I don't know like exactly where the end point of that is. If the end point is like here at the base of my foot, or if it's at the top of my toe, I don't really know. But it seems like that is positive progress. So that's good. But yeah, and then kind of finally they took some X-rays. One of the things which is definitely neato about the alignment things that they did. So in the past, I've always had to, when I stand, because of the fact that my knee kind of comes in, like if I'm standing, especially like doing yoga or anything like that with my feet together, I have to kind of decide, is my knee going to go like slightly in front or behind? Now I can stand with them like perfectly aligned. And if you kind of come in and look up, even like with the swelling, it's still like I can kind of, they're not like aggressively touching. So that's pretty cool. Plus, they took some pretty dope X-rays. So yeah, have officially reached cyborg status. So obviously everything there that is bright white is all metal, which is kind of neat. You can see where they like, cut off the bottom part of it and just made it, a flat thing. And then the metal cap that they put over, the top of the bone on the upper area. Between the two of them, there is a piece of plastic that apparently doesn't show up in the X-rays, but that's kind of what the top thing is going to be gliding on. But yeah, you can also see how it's like much more straightly aligned, especially if you compare it to one of the X-rays that I had before I had the surgery. You can really tell how it's a lot straighter at this point. Also, even with the swelling, my knees are sticking much further apart. But looking at the other view, you can also see like how it kind of sits together and where the kneecap is on the entire thing. So pretty cool how it all comes together, and it seems like they're pretty pleased with the alignment and everything going forward. So that's all very nice. And finally, for just kind of general updates, overall, definitely feeling a lot better about the and optimistic about the progress today than was a couple of days ago. It was for sure nice to go in and get positive feedback from the surgeon, so that was nice. Continuing to do all of the PT and kind of trying to push that as much as I can and get as much flexibility out of my knee as possible, including like on the bike. Now that I've gotten to the maximum, amount of spin that it can do, started moving the chair closer and closer, so further and further down to try and get more and more bend in the revolutions. So that's all good. Other notable updates, let's see. The bruising is almost completely, like on the side of my leg, which was really bad, is now almost completely resolved. So that's great. And yeah, is there anything else like that's worth noting? The last couple of days have been really hard to sleep. I don't know why, but at night, like just the kind of electric pains going through my leg have been really bad. It's not that bad during the day, just bad at night. So not really sure what the story with that is, but the last couple of nights have been kind of tough to sleep. Hopefully that'll get a little bit better over time, and as like the nerve stuff hopefully starts to resolve. But I guess it was also a pretty big like day the last couple of days in terms of just like the amount that I had walked, and like going to the doctor's office is a pretty big endeavor since it's all the way out in Reston. So it was like 2.5 hours of driving and stuff. So, it's a lot of being cooped up and a little bit difficult on the knee. So overall, a lot better spot. Checking in a couple days.